Sorry. Sir. My pranams to all Atma-jyotis, divine light of the self. Today let us contemplate on thought-free state. Every problem we face in life is because of thoughts. Thoughts cause stress, thoughts cause fear, thoughts cause disease, thoughts cause confusion. Thought is the root of misery or suffering in our life. Nowadays, there's a lot of fear about the coronavirus and impact of coronavirus on our lives, on our health, on our jobs, on economy, on our savings. The fear and thought, they are related. The thought is the fear. How do we handle the situation? How do we become thought free so that we have a clarity and peaceful mind? How do you become free from thoughts? This is the question which we are addressing today. I remember a story of Mullah Nasruddin. Mullah Nasruddin was walking on a bridge in the evening. It was getting dark and he saw some people coming on a horse from a distance. Suddenly he started imagining things. Oh, these people could be robbers. They can kill me. Okay. I have some money in my pocket. They can rob me and take that money. So Mullah was too worried. He was too scared. He jumped from the bridge and started running. Nearby, there was a burial ground where dead bodies were being buried. He hid behind a grave to avoid those robbers who were coming. They were not robbers really, they were merchants. They saw this man running funnily and going towards the burial ground and hiding behind that hiding behind the grave. They started wondering what's happening. And they started, they came towards the, they took their horse and started coming towards the burial ground. Mullah is frightened further. He was too worried. These guys are going to rob him. Then they come near him and ask him, why are you hiding there? Behind the burial ground, behind the grave. Then Mullah understood the situation. These are not robbers, but businessmen. Then Mullah said, what to do? Okay. They asked him, why are you here? Mullah said, I am here because of you and you are here because of me. Okay. In our fear and imagination, we create a situation. The situation faces in front of us. Our thoughts create reality for us. And the reality when it comes in front of us, The reality is our own creation, our thoughts, and stands in front of us. So we have to understand the nature of thoughts to become free from thoughts. Let us understand what is a thought all about and how to become free from the thought. There are several meditation practices people do to become free from thought. The world in the world, there are so many practices, hundreds and hundreds of meditation practices, breathing practice, observation practice, this practice, that practice. And ultimately, purpose of all these practices is to get rid of thoughts, become free from thoughts. There are several meditation practices where we can become free from thoughts. It's called samadhi practices. They're called nirvikalpa samadhi, which yogis practice. As per Vedanta, we don't have to stop thoughts. We don't have to do anything to stop the thoughts. But we have to understand the nature of thoughts and inquire into the root of thoughts to become free from thoughts. Once we understand where the thoughts are coming from, we become free from thoughts. So Vedanta prescribes the self-enquiry as method for getting rid of thoughts. Enquire where the thoughts are coming from. So this is the only way you can become free from thoughts and free from suffering. So Vedantic approach is inquiring into the root of thought. A patient has a certain disease. He has a stomach pain. The doctor gives him some tablets, some medicine, some painkiller to remove the pain. But the pain doesn't go because the pain is because of appendicitis. It requires a surgery. Similarly, no amount of superficial treatment of thoughts through meditation, breathing practices can solve the problem of thoughts. It requires a root canal treatment. You have to go deeper into the root of the thoughts to understand the nature of thoughts and become free from thoughts. Vedanta takes this approach, gets to the root of thoughts, where the thoughts are coming from. Once you go to the source of thoughts, the thoughts disappear. You become free from thoughts. Any superficial treatment of a disease in terms of anacin, tablet, or painkiller will not solve. It requires a surgery. Similarly, we need self-enquiry to find out where thoughts are coming from. What is the source of thoughts? That's why Sri Ramana Maharshi says, if anybody comes to Sri Ramana Maharshi asks them, find out who are you? Who are you is the source of thoughts. Find out who are you is the prescription which is given by Sri Ramana Maharshi to become free from thoughts. How does this help? The entire world, what we consider as the objective world, objective reality, is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. For example, sun is a thought, the moon is a thought, the earth is a thought. Everything is a thought. Thing is a thought. And whenever I experience a thought, immediately I also experience a subjective thought called I thought. There are 10 million things or million things about I can think on the earth. From movies to stars to planets to galaxies to science to technology, lot of thoughts. But every thought is accompanied by I thought. So the thoughts are of two types. One is called subjective thought and other is called objective thought. Subjective thought is called aham vritti and objective thought is called idam vritti. Aham vritti means I thought, idam vritti means this thought. Idam vritti can be infinite numbers. There are many objects on the earth, but all objects are nothing but thoughts. So if you consider thought, you consider all the objects on the earth. What happened to me tomorrow? What is this virus doing? Okay, where are we going? Everything is a thought, object thought. So millions of thoughts related to objects are dependent on the subjective thought called I thought. Idam vritti means objective thought, which can many numbers, depends on subjective thought called aham vritti or I thought. I thought, how many, what are the possibilities of I thought? I am a husband, I am a wife, I am an engineer, I am doctor. So many forms I thought can take. Okay. So these are all your identities. There are three aspects of you. What you think of yourself as, what world thinks of you as, and what you really are. There are three aspects of you. What you think of yourself as. Oh, I think of myself as a great man, an engineer, a smart young man. Okay. The world thinks of you as an engineer, okay, or a husband, or whatever. But what you are is none of this. These are all nothing but the identities, social identities taken for a certain functioning in the world. What you are really is not any of these identities. So Sri Ramana Maharshi is asking us, the idam vritti, aham vritti, you ask who am I? Who is really I am? Who really I am? Okay. So that will free. A very simple, direct prescription be given by Sri Ramana Maharshi. Very straightforward method of inquiry. So now what has happened in this process? Thousands of thoughts in the world are reduced to thousands of thoughts are idam vritti. What will happen tomorrow? What is where I'm going? What is the work? All these thoughts are reduced to, because every thought, every idam vritti is recapitulated aham vritti. I am. Who am I? I am aham vritti. Idam vritti is always accompanied with aham vritti. Without aham vritti, there is no idam vritti. Idam vritti means thought. I thought always accompanies all thoughts of the objects in the world. So now, if you ask, who is this I thought? Again, the I thought is, I am husband, I am wife. All these are nothing but your social identities. Again, it is related to what you think you are. Who are you really? The I thought. Where is this I thought coming from? Is what Ramana Maharshi is asking. Trace the root of I thought. Did you have I thought in deep sleep? No, I didn't have I thought in deep sleep. Did you exist in the deep sleep? Yes, I existed. Were you blissful in deep sleep? Yes, I was blissful in deep sleep. So I existed in deep sleep. I was blissful in deep sleep. Is my nature. Then, when I wake up in the morning, I thought started coming up. Before that, there was no I thought. Deep sleep, there was no I thought. So where did I thought come from? From the state of no thought in deep sleep. In deep sleep, there are no thoughts. In deep sleep, there is no thought at all. But there is a bliss in deep sleep. So where did the I thought come from? From the blissful nature of deep sleep. And after the I thought came up, then the body appeared. Then the thought came, I am the body appeared. So once the body comes into picture, the world comes into picture, then hundreds and thousands of thoughts related to world appear. So the root of all the thoughts is I thought. Not the self-identity, many identity thoughts, but the real one I thought which appeared immediately from the deep sleep. In the deep sleep, there was no thought, but I existed blissfully and the bliss was my nature in deep sleep. So now we know what Ramana Maharshi is asking. Go back to your nature. Go back to your original state. Go back to what you experienced in deep sleep. A blissful state. Just by tracing I thought. Don't chase the thoughts. Okay? There are thousands of thoughts about the world, but they all depend on I thought. Now thousands of thoughts gets reduced to I thought. I thoughts also there are some different possibilities. I am husband, a wife. I am wife. I am engineer. I am doctor. So in that I thought also you find out what is real I. Real I only one thought which appear to you in the morning when you wake up. So go back to the I thought. Where did I thought come from? From a deep sleep-like state where there was total peace and bliss. Just trace that thought and go back to your nature, which is blissful. You don't have to do any effort. You go back to the way you came. This is what Sri Ramana Maharshi says. The moment you find out where I thought came from pure consciousness in your deep sleep, awareness or pure consciousness in deep sleep, where there was no thought. The moment you go back to your pure consciousness, you are free from thoughts. Then there is no mind. I thought is the beginning of the mind. The mind disappears into the self nature. So, before the I thought came, there was a blissful self nature awareness, which is deep sleep like state. Then I thought appeared. So what does it mean? The I thought is nothing but consciousness which is appearing as I thought. Consciousness only is appearing as I thought. I thought is also consciousness only. I thought is not different from consciousness. Then once I thought appeared, the body thought appeared. The body thought also is consciousness. All thoughts are nothing but consciousness. Then thoughts of the objects appear. Objects in the world appear. They are all thoughts, nothing but consciousness. They are like waves appearing in an ocean. The waves rise and waves fall in the ocean. If your attention is on the waves, if your attention is on thoughts, there's a disturbance. But if your attention is on the water, which is the content of waves, then your mind is thought free. If you focus your attention, or if you take your attention back to the source of thought, which is nothing but water in case of waves, or pure consciousness or your natural state in deep sleep, you'll feel blissful. The mind disappears. This is the secret, Sri Ramana Maharshi says. This is the teaching of Vedanta. Don't struggle with thoughts. Don't force the thoughts to reduce the thoughts. Don't adapt, no need to adapt any practices to reduce the thoughts. But just trace the root of thoughts. From idam vritti, multiple thoughts in the world, to you go back to aham vritti, I thought. In I thought also discard all the thoughts related to body and mind and your identity, and go back to real I thought. Real I thought appear from pure consciousness, which is your deep sleep-like state. Once you go there, you will become free from thoughts. Be very peaceful. Stay in that peaceful state. So this is what is called Jagrata Sushupti. Jagrata means you are fully awake. Okay. And you have entered into a sleep-like state because you have recollected your sleep experience. Just recollect your sleep experience, the mind becomes very calm. The thoughts, the I thought disappears into that state. Wake, sleep, wakefully, Jagrata Sushupti. This is what is called Sahaja Samadhi or natural state. Go back to your natural state. So, we have to remember, thought is nothing but a wave in consciousness. I thought. All the thoughts are derivative thoughts from the I thought. So all the thoughts are also nothing but consciousness only. It's like wave in the ocean. The objects of the world are not real. They are nothing but thoughts. So objects of the world also is consciousness. So when everything is consciousness and I am consciousness, I am pure consciousness. The entire world is my own self. I alone appear as world. I means the Atma, the I principle, not the ego I. The I principle, Atma, appears as the world, as objective world. You trace back Then you come to the subject, which is I feeling, and then subject I feeling, you go back to the original pure awareness. So this is the method which is taught by Sri Ramana Maharshi. Now let us look at another perspective. Do thoughts exist? Are thoughts real? First, this is how we go back from the thoughts to no thought. Are thoughts real? Okay. Let us take the example of dream state. In dream state, you had a dream experience. In your dream, you in your dream you went to another city. Let us say you went to on a foreign tour. You went to Paris. You saw Eiffel Tower. You enjoyed in Paris, the evening in Paris, the dance and music in Paris. Then you woke up. Then you realize that it was all a dream. There was no Paris. There is no you. There's no the dream character who went there. There's no Eiffel Tower. Then what was this Eiffel Tower made up of? Your mind, thoughts. The dream thoughts created the Eiffel Tower. Your dream body was created by mind. The Paris was created by the mind. The Paris was the mind. The Eiffel Tower was the mind. Everything was the mind. And what is mind? Already we have seen. Is there an entity called mind? There's no entity, solid entity called mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. Thoughts appear and disappear. That's called mind. There's no solid reality called mind. Appearance of thought is called mind. And where are the thoughts coming from? They are coming from consciousness. So in reality, what you are seeing in Paris, the dream character dream, you saw Paris, dream Paris, which is nothing but made up of thoughts. Thought is nothing but consciousness. So your consciousness appeared as dream body and consciousness appeared as Paris. And you can very well conclude that there is no Paris, there is no dream body, because in a waking state you can as well conclude. So then you say thoughts are not real because there is no Paris really. Right? Just see what happened. The thought appeared as Paris and you experience Paris. There's an expression of consciousness happened in terms of Paris and experience of consciousness happened as Paris. So expression and experience both happened in terms of thoughts and experience. And thoughts are unreal, experience is unreal. That's why whatever happened in the dream, in the waking state, you say it's irrelevant, not relevant at all. It's unreal. Vedanta teaches us this, what you are experiencing in the waking state is exactly like that. It is no different. Your mind, the consciousness is all that is there, pure consciousness. It expresses itself as I thought. And I thought multiplies into various objects of the world, the city of Bangalore, and whatever experiences you have. The world gets projected from consciousness in the form of mind. You experience it, and the experience you start what you call as creating impression. There's expression, experience, and impression. Okay, impression is called memory. What is memory? We'll understand. So, same thing what is happening in the deep sleep state, dream state, is exactly happening now also, waking state also. It's not different. Whatever you are experiencing is not real. It's called mithya, unreal. Oh, does it mean that it's not there? I'm able to see, I'm able to touch, I'm able to feel, I'm able to go, walk. That's exactly nature of mithya, unreal. In your sleep, in your dream, you went to Paris, you really stood near front of the Eiffel Tower, experience was there. Mithya means momentary experience. It's not, we are not denying the experience. The experience was real, but what was there is not reality. An unreal experience happened. And the same unreal experience happens in our waking state also. And this is called Mithya. And this is the result of Maya Shakti of consciousness, the power of projection. The consciousness projects the body and the world and experiences through the body. In reality, there is no world, there is no body, there is no mind. And how do I find that no reality? Do I have to stop the mind? Do I have to? That's why in yoga they say yoga chittavati nirodha. Stop the mind, they say. Vedanta says don't stop the mind. Find the root of the mind. The Vedantic teaching is go and find the root of the mind. So there are two paths for the mind. One is called manolaya and other is called manonasha. Manolaya means temporarily you can suspend the mind. Temporarily you can make the mind silent. That happens when you do meditation or when you go to sleep. The mind gets suspended temporarily. Their thoughts reduce. But that doesn't solve the problem because mind bounces back. You are giving reality to the world. Who is giving reality to the world? You, the consciousness. You, the mind. As long as you keep your reality to the world, it keeps appearing. That's why Sri Shankaracharya said, Brahma Satya Jagan Vidya. The world is unreal. The consciousness is the only reality. Brahman is the only reality, which is your nature. You are the consciousness. You are the I principle. The Atma is consciousness. So the I principle, Atma, you associate with the body, mind, and intellect. Really, you are associated with the consciousness. That's all. And if you do that, there's a manonasha. The ignorance of the mind gets destroyed. Then you experience yourself as consciousness, and whatever the world is, nothing but consciousness. The world is nothing but Brahman. The consciousness alone is appearing as a world. So this we understand. We go in the path of Vichara Marga. Manolaya, Manonasha. So now, in your dream, thoughts came, and in waking state, you say it's all unreal. Is there reality? Is there a thought really? Do thoughts exist? If the world doesn't exist, where are the thoughts exist? The dream world was not real, so that means dream thoughts are also not real. So thoughts are also unreal. So same thing is true in your waking state also. The thoughts and the world are unreal. So because you are giving reality to thoughts, the thoughts appear, thought become like a ghost. The thoughts you are giving a reality. And this is told in the form of a story, beautiful story in Mahabharata. There was a man who had gone to a forest. He lost his way. He was tired and sitting below a tree. He didn't know the tree is called Kalpavruksha. Whatever he desires manifests in the tree. He thinks, oh, I'm so tired. If there's a good meal available here, immediately the meal appears in front of him. Oh, the nice meal is there. He eats the meal, and if there's a good bed to sleep, immediately a bed appears in front of him. He sleeps and wakes up. Then he starts wondering, how come these things are happening? There may be a ghost. The ghost may come and eat me. And the ghost appears and eats him. The Kalpavruksha is a mythological name for mind in India. There's a tree called Kalpavruksha. Kalpa means imagination. Vraksha means whatever you imagine, it gives a fruit. And what is that imagination? It's the mind. So whatever we imagine starts manifesting in our life. We start giving reality to the world. Once you start understanding unreality of the world, unreality of thoughts and world don't trouble you. This is the teaching of Vedanta. Understand unreality of thoughts and the world. It's a creation. but don't be trapped in the creation. So from the point of view of Atma, the point of view of I principle, Sakshi, from the point of view I principle, do thoughts exist? Thoughts do not exist at all, because thought is made up of consciousness only. I principle, Atma is consciousness. From consciousness point of view, there is no thoughts. Like from water point of view, there's no ocean, there's no wave, because everything is water only. From the gold point of view, there's no necklace, there's no jewelry, there's no ring, only gold. From Atma point of view, there is no thought, there's no world. I alone exist. That's consciousness. But from the point of view of the lower plane, from the point of view of the waves, okay, the wave exists, ocean exists, and water exists. From the point of view of the mind, are there objects? From the point of view of the mind, from the point of view of sense organs and the body, there's a world, objective, because I can feel, I can see it, I can experience the world. But we realize that the world what I experience is nothing but a thought in the mind. So from my mental point of view, the world is nothing but thoughts. Thought itself is subtle form of objects. Now, when you go to the mental plane, does the world object exist? Does the world exist? No, it exists in the form of thoughts. The world has disappeared, right? So if the world is not there, thoughts are also unreal. The world of physical world of objects is unreal from the mental point of view. And all thoughts are related to objects of unreal objects. So the thoughts are also unreal from mental point of view. And from consciousness point of view, they are not real. They don't exist at all. Thoughts don't exist at all. So once we understand the nature of thoughts, the mind will become peaceful. You find the source of thoughts. That's what Sri Ramana Maharshi teaches. What all ways you can relate to a thought? You can get involved in a thought. I can get involved in the thought and get lost in thought. That's why we say lost in the thought. That's what happens to most of the time in our day. This thought or that thought, we keep on chasing thoughts. And all thoughts are always related to past or future. Do you have a single thought about the present? The past thought you are bringing into the present. What will happen to me tomorrow is a thought based on the past, bringing it to the present. What will happen to me? What happened yesterday? I am suffering. Is a thought of the past you are bringing to the present. Our experience of life is always in the present. It can never be in the past. When I experienced something yesterday, it was now for me. When I experienced 10 years back, it was now for me. So I exist always in now. Existence is always in now. Who is that existence? Which is consciousness, myself, Atma. The Atma or existence or consciousness is always now. That doesn't know the past at all. Every experience is now. Tomorrow, the consciousness never sees tomorrow. When consciousness sees tomorrow, the tomorrow appears as now. Now only is the reality for consciousness. There's no past or future. Right? Everything is present. Now, now, now. Who is that now? I am that now. Who is that I am? The consciousness, the awareness, the Atma. All these means I am the consciousness. That's called Brahman. That's always now. There's no past and future and present in the now. Is there a present now in the consciousness? Everything is happening in now. Okay. Is there a present called, is there something called present? The present is also not there. The past, present, and future is unreal in now, from the consciousness point of view. What do you call as present? Okay, it is 10 o'clock, 35 minutes is present. The moment I say 10 o'clock, 35 minutes is present, that 35 minutes have become 1 second. The moment I say 1 second, it has become 2 seconds. You will never be able to catch present. The present is a continuous movement. It's never, there's no moment called present at any point of time. Then what am I experiencing in the present moment? What am I experiencing in the present moment? It is the projection of the mind which I am experiencing. Just like in deep dream state, I am experiencing the projection of my mind in the dream state as Paris or London. In the waking state, I am experiencing the projection of the mind as the world. Is the projection real? No. Then what is there out there? What is out there is consciousness only. Where is the projection happening? Projection is not happening outside consciousness. Projection is happening inside consciousness. The projection is happening. So if you see, is there an object there? No object. There's no world. There's only consciousness appearing as object. Consciousness appearing as world. The I, the self, Atma, appearing as object is called object, world, in the present moment. Right? This expression is from the mind. The consciousness uses mind to express, and experience happens to the mind. Then there's something gets recorded, and it is called impression. Impression we call normally as vasana. Is vasana real? Is impression real? Impression is vasana. Oh, I saw something, I experienced something, is the past. The past is unreal from the consciousness point of view. Right? Now, from the consciousness point of view, who records? We say mind records. The recording happens in the mind. How can recording happen in the mind? The experience is a thought. There is a thought of experience, and there is a thought of recording. One thought cannot see another thought because each thought is an object. Thought is an object. The mind cannot have two thoughts at a time. Mind can have only one thought at a time. The experience thought and recording thought cannot know each other. Then who is recording? The only consciousness understands and knows. The knowing principle consciousness understands, records. That's why the word record is split into record. Re means again. Cord means core. It going into the core is called recording. That means experiencing something which goes into our consciousness as knowledge, knowing principle, that is called record. Then who is recollecting and projecting it? Because there is no other record. That's where the I thought which appears. It's called ego. The ego masquerades itself. Ego presents itself as the consciousness. And whatever the consciousness experience is there, it says, I only experienced it, and starts projecting the world. Okay, I'll give an example to it for you to understand. You had a dream. In your dream, you became a princess called Cinderella. In a way, the person who is dreaming is, let us say, Lalita. Lalita is sleeping, and in this dream, she became a princess called Cinderella. Right? Cinderella thinks that she is Lalita only. She is borrowing the identity from Lalita only. Okay, Cinderella is the ego. She is saying, I am Lalita. I have become Cinderella, and started going all around the world. Your identity is borrowed by that dream girl. Similarly, ego borrows the identity of consciousness and says, I only saw. The ego is a new thought. It cannot see what happened in the past. So even the memory is not real. What all relationship you can have with thought? You can be, if you can witness the thought as Sakshi. We can witness the thought as Sakshi. Sakshi is a disinterested witness. Thoughts come, thoughts go. Like you are watching a traffic in the street. Somebody comes, a car comes, goes. A truck comes and goes. Thoughts appear and disappear in your consciousness. So you are not interested. Just watch them. It's called Sakshi. It's called Sakshi Bhava. This is where you start your inner journey. Then you understand the thoughts are appearing in my consciousness because my light, I am lighting up the thoughts. Who is that light? My light. I am the light of the self, Atma Jyoti. The light of the self, Atma Jyoti, or consciousness or awareness is lighting up the thoughts. That's why the thoughts are appearing and disappearing. I'm not even witnessing, they're just appearing and disappearing in my light. First step is I'm witnessing. Then you realize I'm not even witnessing, I'm just throwing light on them. They're just appearing and disappearing. This light is called Atma Jyoti, or the light of the self. The light of the self is like a lamp with lit on the stage. It's called Nataka Deepika. In earlier days, they used to light lamp on the stage. Sri Vidyaranya, in a text called Panchadashi, tells this beautifully. Lamp is lit on the stage. The actors come, dance, and go. The light of the lamp falls on that. The lamp is not even interested in the actor, just like giving the light, that's all. Okay? The light is shining on them. In their shining light, they are appearing and disappearing. So now you realize you are not even a Sakshi, you are just a light which is throwing on the objects appearing and disappearing. You are not even Sakshi. Sakshi is at least witnessing. Here you are just a light of the self, where objects are appearing and disappearing. Then you realize it's a pure consciousness. There is nothing. Everything appearing in the consciousness is consciousness only. Say water, the wave is nothing but water only. So I am pure consciousness only. Where are the objects? There's nobody. There's no thought. I am pure consciousness. Like that, you rest in yourself. This is called abiding in the self. This is called nididhyasa, or abiding in the self. This is the approach for Atmadnana, self-realization. Now the question comes, there is some thought process which will help you to take up. I told that all thoughts are unreal. These thoughts, who am I? Is it unreal? The thoughts that, okay, I am Sakshi, is it unreal? The thought that I am the light which is shining, I am Atma Jyoti on the this thing, is it unreal? Is it unreal? The thoughts which take you to the object or make you feel that a thoughts of projection is called creation. They are called avidya vritti. They are thoughts of ignorance. They are projecting the world. Whereas the thought which will take you back to the self, who am I? I am the Sakshi. I am pure consciousness. Who are all the self-enquiry, all these thoughts called vidya vritti. They are illuminating you. They are removing the ignorance. The thoughts which are taking near to your reality, they are real thoughts. Whereas thoughts which you take to the objects are called unreal thoughts. That's why it's avidya vritti. Thoughts which you take to reality is called vidya vritti because they are real thoughts. They are the only real thoughts. Now vidya vritti destroys the avidya vritti, and that much is done. The vidya vritti job is over. Then what is left is pure consciousness. So I am Sakshi is also a thought. It's called vidya vritti, which is the reality of thought. Real thought. Thoughts related to reality. It's called vidya vritti. Vidya vritti is used to destroy the avidya vritti. So avidya vritti is a projection from mind. Vidya vritti is a destruction of the mind, destruction of the ignorance of the mind. Giving reality to the thought is the problem which we face. Okay. So we are struggling with the thought. I have thought. The moment you give reality to thought will become real. Don't give reality to thought. Give reality to the self. That's all. You will become free. The more you reality give thought, the more thoughts will get reality. The more thoughts will get power. That's why there is a story in Mahabharata. There was one monkey called Wali, very powerful. Okay. The Wali had a necklace, very special necklace. Anybody fights with Wali, half the power of the person who is fighting with Wali will go to Wali. So nobody can win. Anybody fights with Wali, half the strength of that person will go to Wali. Sugriva, brother of Vali, requested Rama because Vali had kidnapped wife of Sugriva to kill Vali. So Rama tried to kill Vali. Every time he tries to kill Vali, half the power of Rama will go. Rama is very powerful. Rama is very powerful warrior. His half the power will go, and he is not able to kill Vali. That's why Rama hides behind a tree and kills Vali with one shot. So the thoughts are like that. The more you confront them, the more you give reality to them, your power will go. They take your power. Rama stands for Atma Rama, the self. Your Atma is Rama, the self. Don't give power to the thoughts. Hide behind a tree. Look who you are. Ask yourself. Hide behind a tree is use Vidyavrati to get away from thoughts. Don't give power to thoughts. Then you'll be free. So now we have I said we can stand with respect to thought as a witness, Sakshi. Then your light of the self, Atma Jyoti, or the Atma itself. And the Atma, there is no thought, nothing, everything, only Atma is there. Right? So from witness, we have to move to the reality. Witness, there is a feeling that I am witness, Sakshi, and this world is witnessed. World is witnessed. Witness and witnessed. Sakshi and Sakshyam is there. Sakshi and Sakshyam both are appearing in the light of the self, Atma Jyoti, and I am that light. From that perspective, you have to go back to Atma, the self. So I have described how to free from thought. To become free from thought, understand the unreality of thought. Okay, don't give strength to thought by focusing or thinking the thoughts are real. Good thought. Oh, I have got a good thought. I have got a bad thought. I should not have got a thought. Everything you give a reality thought. Thoughts are always related to past and future. They are unreal. The present moment also is a projection. It's not real. The memory is also unreal thought. The only reality is consciousness. If you understand that, you become free. The more you give importance to thoughts, thought will catch hold of you. Thoughts will trouble you. There's one student who came to the master. He said, Master, I want to meditate. I want to become free from thought. But I'm not able to become free from thought. What to do? The master said, you chant this mantra and do one thing. You never think of a monkey. Okay? So the student said, yeah, that's very easy. I'll never think of a monkey. He goes and sits for meditation. I'll never think of a monkey. Immediately imagine one monkey comes and sits on his back. Within a few minutes, the room is full of monkey in his mind. The moment I say I don't want to think, the monkey will come. I don't want thought, thought will come. So never in meditation you say I don't want thought. Then you are giving power to thoughts. Don't bother them. Just witness them as if they don't belong to you. That's the way you have to get free. Then there's a witness and witness. Then both you realize witness and witness, Sakshi and Sakshyam, both are appearing in the light of the self. The light doesn't bother. The light in this room doesn't bother who is speaking here. I am that light, Atma Jyoti. Then you understand Atma itself is light. I am that Atma, where there is nothing else but only pure consciousness. This is how you become free from thoughts. Any other method to become free from thoughts will not solve the problem. This is the way Manonasha has to be done. The ignorance of the mind has to be destroyed. Ignorance of the mind can be destroyed only through Vidyavati, by the self-enquiry process as taught by Vedantic teaching. We'll close the session for today. If anybody has a question, you can ask. Any questions, sir?